first, I hope everybody's doing well. I haven't done one of these in a little while, so I'm excited to kind of get to hear from y'all and everything. And yeah, I'm doing pretty well overall. Still, you know, committed to finishing. I mean, I don't ever like doubt I'm gonna finish. I mean, I guess there is like the time crunch of getting to Canada before the snow and all that. But I wanted to go ahead and start with the questions while y'all are formulating questions or whatever that you may have, and y'all may have some of these as questions too. But I had asked folks that thought maybe they couldn't, you know, if they couldn't make it, to go ahead and message me their questions or post them, and then, you know, I could respond to those. So I'll go ahead and start with those. The first question that somebody asked and that people have been asking me, and that I guess I've kind of somewhat been avoiding, I mean, not necessarily, but just, it's like, I don't know, I just didn't talk about it. Drone. Yes, I am flying a drone. I posted a gear list on the website today, so if you go to homemadewanderlust.com, I have been carrying one since, I guess, I got on trail after my brother's graduation, but I was like, I don't want to say scared to fly it, I was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing with it, I've never flown a drone before, you know. While I was pretty much, you could say I was a tomboy growing up, I hung out with more boys than girls, I never really had a whole lot of remote control vehicles and stuff like that, so it's a new thing to me. But, you know, I have been paying attention to, like, for example, in a national park, they are illegal, so I think that that's the main reason I haven't really talked about it, because I know that everyone will tell me where they're illegal and where they're not, and this and that. I know people are trying to help, but it's just, I don't know, sometimes you're like, I know, you know, I've Googled it, I've looked it up, but, so anyway, you know, I am minding where I fly the drone. I am careful with it, you know, I'm not chasing bears with it or anything like that, pestering animals, you know, I'm not flying it over people's tents while they're trying to sleep or anything like that. But the main reason I wanted to get the drone was just to add kind of a new element. Being out in the wilderness is really, to me, a magical feeling, and it feels so special to me, and I know that I am very fortunate to, you know, to be doing this, and to have the opportunity to spend this much time in the wilderness and to see the magic of it. And sometimes I feel like when I show it to y'all, you know, it's just like 2D, right? And so, I don't know, to me the drone, like the aerial shots and stuff, it just kind of gives you, hopefully, a feel of how magical it really is, and almost what I feel like when I'm there, submerged and all of that. So, I just thought it would add a new kind of feel to it, new aspect to it, and would add value to the video. So, I thought about it, and Aaron had mentioned it before I left, and I was like, I'm not toting a drone. I'm not toting that weight. I don't know how to fly one. And then while I was hiking through the desert, I thought about it, and I was like, you know, it might actually really be a cool thing, you know. And I just kind of kept thinking on it. And when I went home for my brother's graduation, I was like, Aaron, what do you think about me getting a drone? And he was like, I told you. And so he was right. And so I got it, and I was scared to fly it at first just because I didn't know what I was doing, you know, so I slowly just practiced a little bit, and then, you know, started kind of getting some shots with it, and he's been able to use them, so that's basically all there is to that. So it wasn't really planned in advance. It was just kind of something I thought about along the way, even though it was mentioned before I left. How do I charge the batteries was a question. The way I charge the batteries is just like anything else when I'm in town. So, you know, it only has like 20-something minutes of fly time, and, you know, I'm out. So I just kind of have to make it count, you know. And you are limited to where you can fly, so it's not like I can fly it all day, every day, and, you know, get all this footage and then pick and choose from it, you know. So, and then in the areas that I can't have it, I've bounced it ahead. So, I've, you know, put it in a package and mailed it ahead to the next town. So, so that's pretty much it about the drone. It is a Mavic Pro. Again, it's on my gear list, and when this video is over, you know, I can add a link to that in the description. But anyway, and then somebody asked about physical shape. So my feet, my knees, my hips, all that stuff. Everything's feeling good right now except my plantar fasciitis has kind of started bothering me again a little bit. But I just got some new insoles today. And I think that that's what it was, because I have relatively new shoes, so I think I just need to replace my insoles and I'll be good. My toenails on my big toes are grown back, so that's good. Knees are feeling good, except like when I fall and hit it on a rock, or, you know, I'm going over a blow down tree and I hit my knee on, you know, and then it hurts for a couple days. Just normal stuff. As far as emotional and psychological, that gets tested. So I was really excited to cross into Oregon. Woohoo! I'm in Oregon now. And so I was really excited to cross in, and the day the eclipse happened, I wasn't there for totality, but I was like 90-something%. So it's still awesome. I would like to see one in totality. Had I not gone straight through the Sierra Nevada, I probably would have been in the area to see one in totality. But you know what? Still don't regret doing that. I can see a total eclipse at some other point. Not sure that I'll be able to hike the Sierra Nevada in an epic snow year in the future, so I chose well for myself, I guess. I feel good with my decision. But and then also these fires lately, which I can cover more about. There are a lot of fire closures in Northern California and in Oregon. They've been very aggravating and kind of a bummer, you know, trying to get around it. And you see so many people just skipping miles and miles, like, not that are closed miles, but miles that... So I'm going to see if I can explain this. Say this is the open section of trail, and like the closure is down here and the closure is up here, and this is open trail. Okay, well, there might be a highway that comes in halfway, and, you know, so to get this section, there's no other entry except this highway that splits it in half. So I'll have to come in this highway, hike south, double back, hike that, you know, and that might be 20 miles down and 20 miles back. So it's now 20 miles that's turned into 40, you know, and then from here go up and double back, you know, and it's just a pain to get like all these little segments in between closures. But I have to complete every mile of trail that's open. Otherwise, I don't feel like I completed it. So anyways, it's been a struggle, but it's okay. You know, it's just part of the challenge. This year, the class of 2015 saw epic snow, and now we're seeing epic fire. So, you know, it's just, it's going to be a crazy year to say that I got to do the PCT. So, so I am at times a little discouraged by stuff like that, but like I said, I'm still trucking along. Is it truly a safety issue or an annoyance? I would say it's more of an annoyance than anything. Of course, of course it's a safety issue, but I think the way they do the closures is enough buffer to, you know, they don't want people right up next to the fire. So I don't fear the fire while I'm out there hiking. There it has been a lot of smoke, so haven't been able to see many views in Oregon, which I hear is normally very beautiful. So that's unfortunate. But I appreciate all the people who are out there busting their tails to you know, get hikers out of the woods when it does become an issue, and to fight the fires and all of that. So it's really neat to see people come together and do that stuff, and where us hikers are very appreciative of all the Forest Service people and the firefighters and all that. So okay, so let me get to the questions that y'all have asked, just to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm scrolling back through. What was your day job? Robin says, I think that's... Yep. Okay, that's the first question. What was your day job before you hiked the AT? So before I hiked the AT, I went to school for biosystems engineering, which is like agricultural / environmental engineering at Auburn University, and I worked a while with the Department of Agriculture, which is the branch specifically was the NRCS, that's the Natural Resources Conservation Service, and we did projects like erosion control on farms. Yes, War Eagle. We did projects like erosion control on farms, building ponds, irrigation ponds, surveying. So like in the 60s and 70s, there were a lot of dams, watershed dams, put in to help with flood control and stuff like that. So we'll go out and make sure those dams are still sound, right? Because those were built, I mean, almost 50 years ago, right? Some of them 50 years ago. So, also, we did like gravity fed, like for example, a woman's husband developed brain cancer on they had a farm together, and she wasn't able to tote water to this back paddock for goats anymore, so we gravity fed a natural spring. We created a little system to gravity feed water down to a trough. Anyway, that stuff like that, farm stuff, and helping farmers be more environmentally friendly. And then I worked more as a mechanical engineer in the oil field in Colorado. So that's what I did. And then I ran away and hiked the AT. Okay, after your toenails fall off, does it take just a month to grow back? Okay, no, mine fell off. I reckon they never like completely, like it's not just like it peeled off. It's like some kept separating and I kept clipping. So I mean, I don't know if y'all can even see, but they're maybe I can, well, I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of growing back. It is, they're still not back yet, and it's been several months. So toenails, I think, grow a lot slower than fingernails, I've heard. I don't know that I've actually looked that up, so I might be lying to y'all, but I don't think I am. I think I think maybe I have read that somewhere. But anyway, so they're slowly growing back though. They're making it. They're hanging in there. Hi Dixie, do you roll your tent up every day, or do you just stuff it in the bag? Okay, so it came with a stuff sack, but I've found that, how can I explain this? Okay, so if I were to like cram this item next to this item, so essentially when you put stuff in a stuff sack, it gets all like rigid, right, and stuffed in. So if I try to cram this next to this, like there are gaps in between, you know, they don't line up perfectly. But if it's something material that other than my clothes, I like to keep them in a dry sack. But my tent gets wet anyway, right, if it rains, which it really hasn't. But so I prefer to just not put it in the stuff sack and just cram it in there. So it just everything is more compact in there that way. I don't know that this really helped, but maybe I'm a visual learner. That's why I do stuff like that. I don't know. Okay, grizzly encounters. No, I ain't seen no grizzlies. I have seen 4 bears so far. 3 cubs. 1 cub I saw by itself. Then I saw 2 cubs and a mom separately. So, no, they've all run. I haven't had any, like, bluff charge me, anything like that, like I did on the AT. And I've not really been scared. I mean, night hiking can be a little creepy just because, and especially when folks are like, oh, there are a lot of mountain lions in this area, you know, and I'm like, I mean, I can deal with bears better than mountain lions, because, I don't know, I'm more of a dog person than a cat person. I just don't ever own cats, because I don't like something that, like, when I'm petting it, I'm like, oh, you're so sweet, and then it's gonna, you know, get you. So thinking of, like, a ginormous cat just kind of freaks me out, because they're so swift and just efficient with their, like, kill, and I don't know. I'm like, basically I wouldn't know it was there until it got me, and then that would be the end of me. So I just try not to think about it. But they do say if you hike with your sunglasses on the back of your head that it helps, because they associate humans, you know, with eyeballs in the front, I guess, and so if they're stalking the back of you, if you have the sunglasses, it kind of looks like that. I don't know if that's true or not. Again, something that I've heard but haven't researched for myself. Thomas says, hi from Colorado. Is the bottom of your tent lasting without a protective underlayer? So far, yes. Of course, I hadn't been in a whole lot of water or anything like that. It's not raining here, so, but I don't have any, like, big holes punched in it or anything like that I've seen. I've noticed a few, like, pinhole size holes in the top of my tent, but they have that, it's like repair tape. I mean, it's like some heavy duty stuff. So all I have to do is cut out a little bitty thing and just boop, put it up there, and it's like a patch. So Paul said, what do you think about someone/me doing the PCT first over doing the AT? I think that would be fine, honestly. You know, as long as you do your research and you're not toting like a cast iron skillet that's, you know, big or bigger than your head, and, you know, you have like a reasonable understanding of what gear might work for you. I mean, I've never been on a backpacking trip, and there are people that I've met out here that have never been on a backpacking trip before this trail. So, I mean, you'll be fine if you have enough water capacity to tote water if you need it. I mean, basically cover your needs, right? So, water, food, shelter, mainly. So if you do that, the town stops are frequent enough, especially at the beginning if you're going northbound, that you can correct mistakes. So you'd be fine. So if you prefer the wide open vast views to the green tunnel on the AT, and the more like the AT has soul. And then, you know, the PCT is just like, it feels more, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't say soulless, but like it's definitely more wide open and brutal feeling, like unforgiving to me, you know, and there's like comfort for some reason in Green Forest of the AT, but the PCT is amazingly beautiful. So every day you're just like, wow, I live in a postcard, you know. So if you think you would prefer that, go for it. I mean, I think you would still be fine starting this as your first trail. And then if you've been backpacking before, then you're even one step ahead. Brian says, are you still fishing? So I haven't been, because I've just been like, go, trying to hike. So if I get into Washington and I feel like I've bought, you know, these fire closures have bought some time, then I might get that Tenkara back and start fishing again. Favorite lake view so far? Hands down, Lake Aloha in the Desolation Wilderness. Hands down, I want to go back there. I want to go back there and I just want to sit and I want to eat s'mores, if you can have fires there. And I want to just relax, and if they're a fishing lake, go fishing and just kick my feet. I want to go back there when I can fully soak it in. And that's definitely a place on the list to go back to. So if y'all get to Desolation Wilderness, Lake Aloha in California, beautiful, amazing. Took my breath away. How would you compare the thru-hikers on the PCT versus the AT in terms of backgrounds, ages? Oh, okay. From your vids, PCT seems more wild. Wondering if thru-hikers match that vibe. Okay, so trying to think about how I would answer this. Okay, actually, the AT, I would say, has people 25 and younger and 50 and older, at least my experience of being out there. And then us folks that were like late 20s, 30s, you know, early 40s were like, what are you doing? Why are you here? But, I mean, nobody treated you like that. But I'm just saying, you know, we're like, everyone's either really younger or, you know, a good bit older. And that's just the way it was. Out here, though, Perk is 37, Milestone is 30, Dibs is 33, Butters is 30, Dan is like 27, Mark is early 40s. So I mean, you know, I would say it's quite the opposite. And also out here I noticed that there are a lot more people from other countries than on the AT. On the AT all I saw was Germans. Out here I've seen people from Belgium, let's see, Israel, Germany, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, just on and on and on and on. Japan, and I mean, several Asian countries. But anyway, so a lot of different groups in a lot of ways out here than on the AT. And as far as wild, I don't know if you mean like party, because I would say that there are partiers on all, you know, either trail that I've experienced. There have been, you know, the party crowd, but on neither trail do you have to like hang out with the party crowd if you don't want to be involved in it, you know what I mean? So nobody's like knocking on your tent saying, chug this beer now, you know, it's not like that. So it's what you want it to be. Now, if you stay at a shelter on the AT, you're definitely going to have more people hanging out and talking and stuff like that. Out here, there are no shelters. Well, there are very few shelters. There are very, very few, like one every couple hundred miles, maybe. But so you don't have like the gathering places as much, maybe a water source, but even still, people are so used to dry camping that they don't mind collecting some water and hiking on a mile or two, you know. So you don't just have folks gathered up as much, I would say. So, you know, and there are less people on this trail. So I hope that answered your question. I hear the CDT is even more remote than the PCT, and you need to do some map reading to stay on the trail. Don't forget a compass. Yeah, Tim, I've heard that too. I think that they do have Guthooks for that trail, and I'd heard that in the Sierra Nevada I was going to need to like do all of that too. I did have paper maps as a backup in case. I never pulled them out. I had Guthooks on my phone, and it's an app that it shows you where the trail is, it shows you where you're located, and you can like navigate and walk towards the trail, and it'll show you're walking towards it. That does exist for the CDT also, so I will probably rely on that because that's what I'm used to. However, I will have the backups, because you are correct, it is a lot more remote. And I've actually been thinking about, I never thought I'd say this, and my mom will be happy, but I'm actually thinking about getting an InReach for the CDT. There have been some times out here where I've needed to communicate with people and haven't been able to because I didn't have service, especially like the Sierra Nevada, going 7 days, you know, without any kind of, you know, and it's not so much that I guess I need to talk to people as it is my mom's at home like freaking out, and I'm like, Mom, if you don't hear from me after 10 days, it should take me only 7, if you don't hear from me in 10 days, you can worry, but like before that, please don't call a search party. Like 7 days will be normal, and it could be more, you know. So I know that that's very stressful for her. So for me, in the back of my mind, even though I'm like, I told her, you know, I feel bad that she's worried, you know. So if I could have a InReach that I can text and say, still alive at this mile, you know, I know she'd feel better, and it would be good, because the Sierra Nevada was pretty scary. So, you know, it'd be good to comfort for me to know that, okay, she knows where I'm at. So whatever. How many folks do you meet older than 40 thinking of hiking the AT when my kid is out of the house? On the AT, I hiked with a lady that was 72 years old. So if you go to the channel and you look up who can't hike the Appalachian Trail, you'll see there's a lady named Bluebird. She was 72 years old. And I also, out here, I met the oldest lady to hike the Appalachian Trail, and I can't remember how old she was. She's in her 70s. So there are a lot of people out there over 40. That's what I was saying earlier, is that people are 25 and younger and 50 and older most of the time on the AT. So that's very, very common. You are not, you will not be in the minority at all. So you plan on doing the CDT. Any thoughts of doing the JMT, the Oregon Coast Trail, or even doing an east to west trip? You know, I'm definitely going to do the CDT, finish the Triple Crown. I feel like I got enough JMT while I was on the PCT, because a lot of miles intersect and overlap with the JMT and the PCT. So as far as east to west, maybe someday, but for now I'm really thinking about maybe the CDT and then stuff in other countries. You know, there's the Camino, there's the Tiarora, there's probably a lot of other cool stuff that I haven't even heard of or thought of or whatever. So, you know, after I finish the CDT, I will feel like I've pretty well explored by foot our country. And, you know, by the time I get done with this trail, I think I'll only have 4 states that I haven't visited yet. So, I think I'm ready to, after that point, you know, I want to finish the Triple Crown to feel that sense of like completion and accomplishment. Because you either do 1 or 3, right? You can't do 1. I mean, you can't do 2 and stop. I mean, you could, but like for me, when I stepped foot on this trail, I had committed to doing the 3rd trail. So, but after that, yeah, I really think I'd like to see some other countries, because I've not really been around the world much. So, I think it would be time for that. And definitely, hopefully, keep, you know, videoing and putting it out there. All right, I'll go get Perk real quick. All right, do you have a brand of socks that you prefer? I prefer Darn Toughs, because they guarantee them for life. But I've liked Injinjis lately, which I never thought that I'd ever really try, because I didn't have any issues with blisters. But I used the Injinjis in the Sierra Nevada for the first time to test out to see if, or to prevent potential blisters. But Darn Tough for you, I know.
I have used Darn Toughs through the whole AT and this PCT so far.
Okay.
Many others have been suggested, but I can't say no to a return policy if it has a hole in it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
no, I mean, if you pay $20 for a pair of socks, though, you know what I mean? Like, they should last. Perk, do you carry any back-up pair of glasses? Oh. Like your...
No.
Spectacles.
I live on the edge. The edge of good vision.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good question, though. I never even thought about that.
You know,
do a lot of people that wear glasses, or do you ever even ask people that or worry about that? Or
well, in civilian life, I usually have an extra pair in the car or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Elsa, you're very brave. I considered bringing an extra pair.
Really?
But, you know, grams. I'd rather have an extra Snickers than a pair of glasses.
I mean, food.
I can't eat my glasses.
It's food. Or a pint of whiskey, says.
Well,
because that's medicinal.
It is, for medicinal purposes only.
Yeah.
No, but I did have a hard choice when I got these glasses for the trail between choosing polarized lenses or transition lenses. and I didn't want to carry 2 pair.
Yes.
But I went with transition so
You
I could see the
did.
stars at night. Not that polarized would block the stars, but I decided that I don't normally wear sunglasses in civilian life.
Yeah, I remember you.
But I felt it would be important in the desert.
Yeah, but this isn't them, so you swap back.
This is the transition.
It is.
It's just
they're
not bright
getting
enough
dark.
out. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so I didn't want to carry 2 pair, and I felt the polarized lenses would be like better in the Sierras with the snow.
Yeah.
But overall, the transitions would be.
Yeah, no, I think it's protect
applicable
your
to
eyeballs.
More miles of trail they'd be useful for, so I chose the transitions.
General gear philosophy: cheap and replaceable, or quality and long lasting? Oh, definitely. Well,
So,
it depends. Right?
yeah,
That's
I
always
mean,
the answer. Okay, so with.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no! You
Well, I was thinking in terms of.
like frog togs.
Well, yeah, frog togs are an example of cheap and replaceable, and lightweight. So I think of it being lightweight, durable, and inexpensive.
Yeah.
Pick 2.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
That is very true. I do love
And
the
frog
rain
tog-
gear that I have now.
yeah.
I did have the frog togs on the AT. But I mean, if there are certain places that you can skimp to budget, like to save money, I think that rain gear could definitely be one of those, because the frog togs do work well, and they're like $20 a pair. So if you do tear them up, I use 2 pair on the AT.
Yeah.
So $40, and then but like your tent, for example, I don't know. I mean, to me, something you're gonna be living in, that's probably the cheapest rent you'll have for 6 months. So you might as well, get something that's
I didn't think
good.
of it that way.
Yeah.
That's your rent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your rent. So, I do think with tents, and again, the lightweight, the tent is a good place to cut weight. So, the big 3, right? So, your pack, I think Rebel Yell would attest to the fact that a cheap pack gets annoying. He had one that he got from, was it Cabela's?
Cabela's, yeah.
Cabela's, and he had it replaced like 3 times because it kept falling apart. And they did replace it, but he had to deal with that. So, to me, you might as well get something durable that's going to last you with a pack, So I don't know. I mean, I would say if you're new and you're not sure that you're going to stick with backpacking forever, maybe go mid-grade on things, and then you can slowly upgrade. Love this chat. Thank you. Thanks for the chat. Thanks so much for taking this time to chat. Thanks for this chat. Well, thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. And thank you for coming out and stopping your pizza to be. No, really.
No, really, thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all for tuning in, asking questions, participating. But all right, y'all. We'll see you next time.